Hey, this is Langerman from Violinna.live, helping you along your musical journey. A few weeks ago, I asked on my community post, what are some of your biggest challenges in the bow technique? And one of the responses I got was that big challenge is string crossing, and specifically when switching from single stops to double stops and in reverse, and really feeling that difference between those two with the bow. So in this video, we're going to go through 4 progressive exercises and sources that will help you practice switching between playing on 1 string and on 2 strings. And these exercises will range from the very beginning levels, first time ever playing double stops, through more advanced levels. The first exercise is silent, so we're not actually going to play any notes, but this is a bow exercise to really just feel the different levels. There are 7 levels in total if you think about it, because we got 4 strings and then we have the spaces between the strings. So we're going to place the bow close to the bridge on the balance point and keep the bow hand really relaxed, but make nice contact with the string. And we're going to roll the bow to the A, D, and G string, or from A, D to G and C if you're playing viola, and roll it back. And the idea is to feel the strings. Feel the strings a little bit in your hand as you switch. You're going to feel it more if you're closer to the bridge, and actually if it helps, you can even try this on top of the bridge. So you can feel where those grooves are. We did this on the balance point, but try this also somewhere else in the bow. So if you're doing this closer to the tip, notice that to switch, you're going to have a completely different motion out here. And actually you can really sense the strings even more when you're near the tip. You can really feel when the bow switches. And the arm has to move a lot more. If you do this near the frog, we can actually achieve this with very minimal motion. So the next exercise is for those of you who have never played double stops before, but if you have, this could also be very helpful. This is the book called Double Stop Beginnings for Violin, and there's a viola version as well. This is book 1 by Cassia Harvey. Actually, there are a lot of great books from this collection, and I'm going to link this down in the description below if you're interested to check it out. It is an affiliate link, so if you decide to purchase something from there, I might get a small commission and it'll help out the channel. So we're going to look at the first exercise from this book, and there are tons and tons of exercises you can practice with here. And they go straight down to the basics, just the very fundamentals of how to play double stops. And one of my favorite things about it, even right from the first exercise, is that it separates the single notes first before playing the double stop together. And also we have quarter notes, half notes, and whole notes, which means we get to play in different parts of the bow. So you get to sense how the double stop feels when you use a small bow versus a large bow. We'll start the first exercise on the balance point, starting with the 2 open strings, and try to find an elbow level that's kind of in between G and Z. That's where we're going to find the bow can pivot without actually moving the elbow. And double stop. To the double stop between A and Z, so the elbow is going to roll down, and we repeat. Now, full bow. 2, 3, 4, the frog. 2, 3, then small bows. The elbow down between A and E, and then we do the same exercise on A and E. So that's the first one. There are many exercises here. We have also some tunes with single notes alternating and with double stops in this book. So it's really fun if you want to start incorporating double stops in your playing, especially for those of you who just started playing. But it's also good to, for more intermediate players, it's good to kind of use these as a way to practice bow distribution and really get more awareness of these different elbow levels. The third exercise is from Ysaye's Exercises and Scales. Before number 1 in this PDF that I'm also going to link down so you can give this a try, there is an exercise where you really get to feel those 7 levels. So we're going to do on a single bow very slowly, go through the 7 levels, and we're going to use the pinky to create unisons. So with the 4th finger D and open D, 4th finger A, open A, etc. And the idea is to switch very smoothly as possible. Sometimes it can be a little difficult to hear when that unison happens. So if you feel the same way, what you can do is, instead of practicing this with 4th finger, I do like the 4th finger because it sets up the hand frame. But what you can also do is practice the same exercise, say, with the 2nd finger, so you can hear exactly when the double stop is happening. So I'll do this within the key of G. And then, of course, you can go on and give these exercises a go. And so on. So it goes on for a couple pages with many different variations within the key of G. You can try other keys as well if you want. So now we're going to go to the most advanced exercise group. But before we get into this, if you're getting any value from this video so far, please give it a quick thumbs up down below to help support this channel and so that YouTube is more likely to share this with more folks. So if you want to get really crazy and obsessed with practicing switching between double stops and single notes and want to get really good at this, go to Sevcik's Opus 2, the Bowing School, Book 4, go to big number 36. You're going to get hundreds of variations. There are 2 themes, and in the first one we're going to have a double stop and the single note will be on the lower string. In the second theme we'll have the single note on the higher string. So I'm not going to play the entire thing because that's going to take way too long, but I'm going to play the beginning of each one of these 2 themes, and then we're going to just do a couple variations, just a little bit for demo. There are hundreds of them for all different bow strokes. So starting with the first in half notes using the whole bow. Anyway, this goes on for a while, and then the other one is where you have the single note on the top. And so on. So the variations actually They are going to have different rhythms and different bow lengths, different articulations. This is variation 27 with 8 notes. So every group of 4, the first of the group will be a double stop. And I'll do it on the first of the themes. And so on. And of course we have so many different combinations with different patterns of alternating, and also different slur patterns and different articulation patterns. So let's try one with slurs. Let's take, for example, number 46, slur 4, separate 4. I'm kind of rushing through these here because of time, you know, I don't want to make this video last forever, but I would pick 1 or 2, maybe 3 patterns that you would like to practice, and really kind of focus on them. You don't have to go through the entire theme, pick a few measures. The idea of any Sevcik exercise is to really kind of zoom in and explore how the fingers feel, how much to move the bow when you switch back and forth. So for example, when I did the slurs, notice that I wasn't moving the elbow a whole lot, I was just alternating with the fingers. Similar to what we did in the Cassia Harvey book, we kept the elbow on the same level when we stayed within the same 2 strings. So let's try one more. On the following page, we have some triplets. So we'll take the top one, for example, number 72, slur 2 and 1 separate. Now notice that I'm doing it kind of around the balance point. You can try this in other parts of the bow to feel how it's different, how it feels different here. There are an infinite amount of combinations you can do. You can get really creative with this, and definitely recommend doing it in different parts of the bow, because could be a completely different sensation. Sometimes 1 inch of bow can make such a big difference. One maybe playing over here will feel very easy, and somehow even 1 inch this way can make it feel a little more challenging. So it really depends on what's going on, what's happening, how often you're switching between singles and doubles. So give these exercises a try. I hope they make it easier to switch off between playing double stops and single notes. Let me know what you're working on, and let me know what your biggest takeaway was in the comment section below. If this was helpful for you, share it with a friend or a colleague. I will see you in the next video. Happy practicing!